More gunshots. Didn't hear any to begin with, so that's good. They're just pulling so many bodies out of that Hooters. I don't know if people are dead. I don't know if they're just injured. They just keep on pulling them out, though.
Here comes another ambulance.
There's already been at least 6 ambulances that have left this Hooters.
There goes one. Here comes another one.
They got police all up and down the Vegas Strip. It looks like they got the Vegas Strip blocked off.
I'd say maybe a good 2-mile perimeter. Right into a big square. So many places to hide.
They got a big pack of them over there too. So I don't know if they're just blocking that off or... But something definitely happened at Hooters, dude. No doubt. See if we can find something on the news.
Go local. Here comes another ambulance. 2, dude. Look at this, Ben. 3.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude, he probably ran into the Hooters and started shooting people. That's what I'm thinking. Well, no, that doesn't make sense because these cops would be coming fucking rushing over here. What the fuck?
Something definitely happened to Hooters, though.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
If this ain't on the news yet...
Look, another one. 10.
There's some shitty news reporters out there.
Oh my god, dude. Look at this, Ben. 3 more. Just pulled up.
No way. Yeah, it must have happened at Hooters, dude. Because they're all showing up there.
Yep, look at them. Bringing the stretcher out right away. All of them. Every single one.
Oh my god. What the fucking chills the news on?
Oh my god, here comes another one. I don't know, I think he's
going somewhere up. He must already have one in there. It must have been 2 different areas or something. But it looks like most of them are at Hooters.
There goes another ambulance up there. There's one right there. Here comes another one.
Man.
Here comes another one. 3 more. Ben, dude, look at this. Look at this.
There's got to be something online.
3 more just pulled up. Here comes another one.
It's probably a good thing we went to circus.
It's a good thing we didn't save Tropicana for last.
Of course, there's no news channels. Whatever happened to that guy? Where's the guy at?
In the tray on the bed. Pretty sure. Here comes another one. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 ambulances. There goes one. There goes another. Oh no, they're just pulling into the side lot. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, let's see. TV gun. You think they'd start broadcasting it on the network? They got a network. There it is.
You can see a lot of that area now is on lockdown. We know that many of the properties are on lockdown.
No signal. Come on.
Out in the property, they have been clearing the floors and clearing the
Mandalay Bay.
hotel, and in fact, many of the guests have being evacuated and kind of leaving that area. Nathan, bring us up to speed. Yeah, Jordan, again, we are...
Fucking goddamn it.
Don't stream it if you can't stream it. What the fuck?
This area off. We've seen some of Metro's units coming through here, and they have an entire kind of tactical perimeter as well. All of the first responders, all of those firefighters, ambulances, all getting in here trying to...
I'm just gonna go. See if it plays. I'm not gonna keep switching back and forth.
Advantage. I spoke with one witness who told me that that's exactly what he saw. He saw someone that was several floors high and was shooting into the crowd of people. He said, how many people might have been injured in this, but as you can, kind of what has happened here on this.
Man, I wish I could hear what's actually going on.
Apparently it was in Mandalay Bay. So the guy was several floors up, firing into the crowd.
Thousands of people walk down here, and you can see just kind of how many people, the scope of it, that have been affected by this. And by the way, this road, Las Vegas Boulevard, completely and effectively shut down at this point. A lot of people on their phones, you can see, trying to get in contact with family, presumably.
I don't want to be out there. All these people are stuck out there.
Trying to figure out exactly what is going on. But again, Gerard, this is a very fluid situation. We're trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. But the main priority that police have...
So they don't even know what's going on.
Here, you can see some of the police officers telling people that are getting into the road to get out of the road. Safety here is priority. And you can see some more folks over here kind of coming into the cordoned off kind of safe area, the area that police are telling everybody to go to. But there was a lot of folks here in the direct aftermath. They said within 5-10 minutes, I caught up with them and they were asking, where do I go? I don't know where to go. How can I get a cab out of here? And everything kind of just enclosed in on them and was trapped. And if you take a look on this side, on the west side of the strip here, you can see it's all lined up with police cars, all units out here from different agencies here to try to help out. And we also have air units that are kind of patrolling and getting a look at from the sky here as well. But again, we are actively trying to work and try to figure out exactly what's going on here. We're going to talk to some more folks, see what they have to say, what this experience has been like for them. But for now, let's send it back to you, Gerard.
Right, Nathan, thank you once again for the update there just outside Mandalay Bay. Want to bring people up to speed. There has been a shooting with multiple victims just outside Mandalay Bay. There was
Turn this off, you can hear people screaming and yelling outside.
Harvest Festival, and I've just learned from a police source that the shooting...
This fucking air vent thing's cool.
The finale, when Jason Aldean was performing, he's a country performer, he was performing his finale.
Is it open?
Yeah.
So multiple victims.
You hear that?
Was it a gunshot?
No, somebody said, get back.
was that?
Somebody's yelling a name. I wish I had binoculars right now.
We're probably fucking idiots for sitting here. But Mandalay Bay's right over there. But if they were shooting at Mandalay Bay, why is there so many people coming out of Hooters?
Right.
So I don't think they know the whole story.
We've kind of moved our way down because obviously that scene up there, we're still not sure if there have been any arrests made or if there is still an active shooter out here. But I have Gail here beside me, who I've been talking to a little bit. I've been talking to many people who are just slowly but steadily trying to move south on Las Vegas Boulevard. And what did you hear?
We were just coming back. We're actually staying at the Mandalay Bay, and we were coming back to go down and maybe even go see the concert that we knew that was across the street. And then when we were coming out, we just heard it sounded like firecrackers at first. Maybe there was a firecracker show, I don't know, fireworks show. But it didn't sound normal. It sounded like machine guns, and it was like several rounds, like hundreds of rounds. And then it stopped, and it sounded like different gun shooting. And then it stopped a minute, and then it started again. It's hard to explain. And then
semi-automatic.
We moved behind a building here because it just didn't sound right. And then we hid behind a building, and we could just hear hundreds of rounds going off. And then about 10 minutes later, the police came and then blocked off all the streets, and just very overwhelming and very scary. Yeah.
So as you moved down this way, how far up were they? How close were you to the Route 91 festival?
Oh, we're only about not even a block from it, maybe no more than 2 blocks.
And you could hear it from that far away?
Absolutely, because what was weird is that
Yeah, but if it was only at that place, why are they at Hooters, dude? There had to have been 2.
Because
that
like it was shooting toward
concert down there across from Mandalay Bay.
But now, hearing from what some people were saying, and they were shooting into the crowd which is across the street, makes a little more sense. I mean, it's just so surreal.
I mean, were you at all concerned about your safety? Because obviously we were moving that direction.
Absolutely, because it just sounded like open shooting for a few minutes, and that's why we hid behind a building. And then we saw people coming out of the Mandalay Bay, and then we saw police officers running across the street into Mandalay Bay. And we just hid behind.
Hopefully, whoever did it, they fucking killed the son of a bitch.
We were trying to watch.
So that fucker was pent up in Mandalay Bay.
Behind the building here.
And you can see too, the Metro helicopter.
He was shooting from Mandalay Bay into the crowd at the concert.
So they say. Well, what about Hooters?
I would say 10-15 minutes, and now that helicopter
can't shoot Hooters from Mandalay Bay.
out here, going around this block,
and something definitely happened in there.
Police
they got people
just keep
sitting
moving
there.
people
I'm guessing they're
down here
giving
who are
statements or
trying to figure
something.
out still what is going on, and many people are actually not moved very far from Mandalay Bay at this point. There are some people standing outside here, waiting to see what exactly is happening out here. We'll keep talking to people and see what else we can uncover as we're out here. Reporting live, Christy Wilcox.
What do they got on the ground there? What are they doing?
Thank you once again for the update. Stay safe.
They put like mats out.
I want to let people know that whenever there is a situation like this, a mass potential casualty situation, and we essentially have the majority of our police force involved in this, it's very difficult.
Is that hazmat?
Information, because the information is very fluid.
Is that a hazmat truck?
We are getting many phone calls to our newsroom right now. I mean, my personal phone is just going crazy. People are asking for information.
It says a music festival, but they're doing something at this Hooters. They pulled plenty of people out of Hooters, and that's like 2 blocks away from the festival. So
now, my police sources are telling me that essentially what has happened is there has
maybe there's 2. Had to have been 2.
2 suspects confirmed. Many victims, and my police source tells me, in fact, that there are several fatalities, confirmed deaths near the main stage. The main stage being the stage where the Route 91 Harvest Festival concert was taking place, directly across the street across the boulevard there from Mandalay Bay. Multiple gunshot victims. There was immediate panic, as you might imagine. People were running in all directions, including out onto the tarmac, which the airport is right there. You know, they have those private jet hangars, and now those crowds are now being ushered into a specific area away from the Mandalay Bay Hotel. That is where the shooters are believed to be staged. The two suspects, possibly more. And Metro is on the scene.
If there's two in Mandalay Bay, then there's three, because
in the process of clearing the floor,
someone was at Hooters doing something.
That entire section of the strip is now blocked.
There goes our gun rights.
People have been evacuated from there. Several properties, strip properties, are on lockdown, and parts of the roads are blocked as well. We're showing you live pictures here. You can see Metro officers.
These fucking idiots were letting anybody in. I would have been like, room key?
Yeah.
Of officers headed, we believe.
I don't give a shit if you're panicked. Room key?
But they have been deployed in massive.
I'm just glad we got here, dude. I did not want to be out there. That's for damn sure.
You're right. They had a runner.
Nathan O'Neill is standing there. Nathan,
Was
you've
it?
been talking with.
They said that somebody's running.
Who have been evacuated.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a police
What can
chase.
you tell us?
I thought they were chasing after somebody.
I can tell you it's been a very terrifying situation for a lot of people out here, and for us as we got on.
They're dispersing all those people. They had them all together, but now they're all walking around.
We're moving, and we just saw that team that was moving, that tactical team that kind of moved in.
Look,
very serious situation.
tactical team just moved in.
Standing here, he's visiting from Australia. You were in the Mandalay Bay. Tell me what you saw, what you heard.
You know how long it's going to take to clear every room?
Running into the lift bay, 31 lift bay, they were going up, they were coming down, they were going this way, that way.
Mandalay Bay is right there.
The shooters, one shooter's up there still, been told by police.
It's a big yellow building. They say that's where the shootings happen, but there's... Look at all those fucking ambulances over at the Hooters.
Yeah, a lot of people had gunshots, but the initial gunshots apparently like machine gun fire.
So it was like a rapid fire.
They got a helicopter flying around the Mandalay Bay.
What was your reaction when you heard all that?
We knew it was chaos and mayhem, these people running out of everywhere, and they were really, the police were really unaware of where the ground person was. They were going this way, that way, there's SWAT everywhere. We were tucked away, about 12 of us, in a little, like a car park thing, and then it's like the SWAT came, they said, hands up, this way we're unarmed, we ushered out this way.
You said that you described to me that you were running from Mandalay Bay for like the last hour. Why do you feel like you were running? I mean, where you?
You know, we're shooteries. You know, the police were wanting to tell us to go in, they were telling us to go that way. So we knew they were confused like we were, and we just wanted to stay close to them. Then this one SWAT car, they ushered us out, and they said go that way, and we come this way. And we feel like I said, there's a lot of police here.
And then we started running. Yeah.
Like full on sprinting?
Or running. And you know, carrying bags and helping people. And we stuck, there was about, I don't know, 12, 14 of us that we all stuck together. A couple of big boys, bigger than, you know, like big boys, and we thought, well, we'd have to show you if we stick together.
What went through your head, I mean, when you heard shooter?
I'm from Australia, we don't cop this sort of stuff in Australia that much, but it just try and keeps me people safe, I suppose, if you run and let people tell you.
So are you guys staying at the Mandalay Bay?
Yeah. We had conferences there tomorrow, today, and the next day.
Did you see anybody that was injured or hurt?
No, apparently all the Twitter reports is that the shooters were shooting at the concert across the hall.
Well, thankfully you guys are okay. Hopefully everybody can keep safe out here. Okay, it looks like we have some movement here. They're kind of expanding the perimeter here. Police are telling everybody to move further south, so we're going to do that as well. And if you can turn the camera here, you can see it looks like teams are getting ready to move in. So this is.
I told you he was in there.
At least in the urgency that we see, a lot of people out here with their phones trying to
In
document.
the Mandalay Bay?
Yeah, that right there. They're out front of the Mandalay Bay.
But who did that?
Well, let's try to migrate
That's
with
a good
them so we're
question.
not getting in anybody's way here. But as you can imagine, trying to get thousands and thousands of people to move all cohesively and out of the way and keep them out of harm's way, I mean, that's the priority here for Metro and all of the law enforcement agencies that are out here right now. But it's a surreal sight to see.
All right, Nathan, whatever you do, just make sure that you're following the...
Picked a hell of a weekend to go to
advice
Vegas.
there of the officers and the commands as all the residents there are and the citizens are. We want to go ahead and show you some images as well that we've been receiving via social media. This is via Banjo, and what you're looking at here are the crowds running, presumably after those shots were fired. Some of those people you see there hitting the ground for their own safety, and we don't know if they were told to hit the ground or they heard those shots and they just did that out of their own reaction time. We're also getting some new information from our police sources that, in fact, we have been hearing all evening that there were multiple victims as a result of this shooting. So many now, we're hearing that the ER at UMC is at capacity and that many of the victims are now being transported to Sunrise ER. Multiple gunshot victims, including a Metro police officer, we understand, was shot in the neck and transported to UMC. Other victims as well.
Shot, dude.
And police sources telling us that it is believed that some of those are fatal victims, sadly. So obviously it's still a fluid scene, as you can see. Nathan showing us just moments ago that the SWAT teams are still moving in. We've got some live pictures here now.
Damn, dude.
You of the crowds as they're being ushered away from that active scene. Police,
they know where he's at.
Also moving.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be wasting that many bodies.
We know that there was a group of Metro officers and SWAT teams that entered Mandalay Bay just a short time ago. It appears that they have called in for backup, perhaps just to make sure that all of the areas are covered here. But again, it's believed that there are 2, possibly more, active shooters somewhere on the Mandalay Bay property, that they were firing at the crowd that was attending that Harvest 91 concert, the Route 91 concert just across the street from Mandalay Bay, and that's when the chaos ensued. Those shots were fired, people began running, and there were multiple victims that were unfortunately shot, and all of that information still coming into our newsroom. Christy Wilcox is
Why didn't they say anything about Hooters? Something obviously happened.
We want to send it over to her for an update from her vantage point. Tell us first where you're at, Christy, and what you're seeing.
Well, we're right at the intersection of Las Vegas Boulevard and Four Seasons Drive, and police have been actively telling us to move back, and that's probably why you've seen our video be, shaky, and because we're continuing.
So right by the McDonald's we were just at.
We just saw about 20 officers across the street from us
No, we were at
Mandalay
one
Bay,
like 5 miles away.
with their weapons in hand,
Yeah.
moving towards
No, it ain't that same
the
one.
scene out here. And of course, you can see all these other Metro officers coming up on the scene here. Gosh, the cars just keep coming, and they keep asking us just to move back and to move back, because they're really not sure, I believe, how safe things are out here at this point. You can still see the officers moving up the side of the street up here. They're passing in front of the Mandalay Bay sign at this time. And actually, we have another police officer right here in front of the liquor store asking us again to move, and I'll get out of the way here. You can see that they're very concerned about people's safety out here and just locking down this scene at this point. We will continue to move back here, of course. Because you just don't know what's going on out here at this point, and obviously they're very concerned about folks out here, the rest of the folks out here, staying safe and just getting them away from the scene as we speak.
Yeah, I don't know, Ben. They got another fire truck pulling up.
Yeah, something definitely happened over there. And the news doesn't know about it yet.
That's a hazmat truck. That one with the lights on the back and the door open on the side. That's a hazmat truck.
What we're getting is a bunch of the Metro officers have just continuously moved us back further and further from the scene, because I think it's likely they don't know where these shooters or where these active shooters are right now. So I haven't heard much from Metro, but I have been talking to people out here locally on the scene, and actually right here behind me, another officer asking us to move out of the way. I think they're just very concerned. And actually, okay, so let me show you here. I had just told you that police, about 20 police were down by the Mandalay Bay sign, but you can also see right here across from us off of Four Seasons Drive in Las Vegas Boulevard, We have another group of police officers standing here getting ready, I would imagine, to move in that direction as well. Hey, Scott, can we move this way? We can show these guys over here also preparing. So there is just a massive amount of police presence down here, worried about folks. All these roadways, of course, blocked off at this point. But Gerard and LaToya, I'll send it back to you.
All right.
Here we go. SWAT is right here. SWAT is across the street.
We want to go ahead and get our viewers up to speed. We're showing you some live images near Mandalay Bay. This is where all of this is taking place. SWAT teams in place. Active shooter teams are in place. 2 suspects, it is believed, were firing shots from Mandalay Bay to a crowd of concert goers. They were attending the Route 91 concert, the Harvest Festival, which is taking place at that outdoor stage just across the street from Mandalay Bay. It's that same stage that the iHeart Music Festival uses. And we're told that the shots were fired during the finale of the concert when Jason Aldean, a country performer, was singing his final song. When the shots rang out, crowds, of course, panicked and started dispersing immediately. They ran in all directions. We're told some ran all the way towards Top Golf. In fact, there was a gunshot victim who ran in that direction. Others ran out onto the tarmac at the airport near where the private jet hangars are. And obviously there was some panic. Now, what we've confirmed through our police sources here at News 3 is that there are multiple victims, possibly multiple fatal victims. Many were taken to UMC. We're told the ER there is at capacity and that they are now moving many to Sunrise ER. There were so many victims, according to my police source, that Metro units were actually transporting victims in patrol cars. They couldn't wait for ambulances because there were victims right there needing immediate attention.
Man, that's crazy. There's got to be so many
Holy shit, man.
There's got to be so
We walked away for 5 minutes.
What is that down there? What is that tarp? What are they doing?
If that's a hazmat truck, the only time hazmat trucks show up is like when a meth lab explodes.
Yeah.
That's right. So if anybody out there within earshot of this broadcast has communication with anybody down on the strip, tell them very clearly to follow the direction of police immediately. On that scene, follow the direction of police. I can tell you both, LaToya and Gerard, because I drove in from Summerlin there on the 95. I passed 4 ambulances towards the Las Vegas Strip. Actually, they passed.
I don't even know if we'll be able to go
in that
outside
direction.
tomorrow.
So you can just see by
Fuck them, I'm going outside.
This was a very
If they can't catch this dude like by morning, like
Yeah, they won't let us out if they go and catch him, dude.
Nathan is down there covering things for us as well. Nathan, what can you tell us? What have you learned since we last saw you?
Well, we're still moving. Police keep telling us as we are walking down Las Vegas Boulevard that we have to keep moving to keep everybody safe. And it's a slow but steady pace with thousands of people telling them to keep on the sidewalk so they can
See, dude, I'm so fucking glad we're not out there, dude. They're not going to be able to go home for hours.
okay, undercover right there.
But what are they doing down there? They're like assembling something. I wish I had binoculars.
Right?
Metro, we got Clark County Fire out here. A lot of first responders all out here. It's all hands on deck at this point. But I was just talking to some folks.
I just can't tell what they're doing, but they laid down like blankets. I don't know. They can't be working on people. They have to. I think maybe. I don't know, dude.
Maybe there was a gas leak.
Well, there's just people coming out, driving out like there's nothing going on, but there's obviously something to do, you know? Look at that car right there, just driving out. It's a taxi.
They said that they actually had a daughter that was in that concert venue. They were worried about her. They were able to get in contact with her, but someone was shot that was really close to her. Thankfully, that woman is okay as far as we understand. But a lot of people, you know, they're just trying to figure out exactly what's going on here, and it is a very scary situation.
Look at those cops going through there. Where are they going?
And it's a very chaotic situation, but you can still see the help is coming. We see more fire paramedic, more Metro kind of moving all over the place. But again, we're still walking. We're up at Russell and Las Vegas Boulevard to begin with, and they're telling us to go down to Sunset, and they're saying that's where they want everybody, just to make sure that they're safe, because if these reports are true, they're saying
Dude, they
that
might be
these
searching this hotel
shooters
tonight.
are at a high-rise position, and
They might come search this room.
not only for the officers, but for everybody around here.
Not for
Unless this is
not for material things for a person.
yeah. Well, I know. What I'm saying, like they might.
As you can tell, this is a very dynamic situation.
That's gonna be scary as fuck, dude. If we get that knock at the door.
Oh, we'll get questioned. Like, what are you guys doing up here? You know.
I'm so glad we were where we were, because if we weren't there, we'd be stuck out there in traffic, dude.
Well, we got proof, like legit proof. If they're like, where were you guys at this time? Getting 30 tacos. Call Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Fucking.
An update from one of my police sources who says one of the suspects has been found dead in a room at Mandalay Bay. We are
Fucking coward.
Confirmed that is believed to be true. We have not confirmed that just yet, but obviously this is still an active situation.
I just want to know why, dude. Obviously, it's just terrorism.
Community Ambulance, a private ambulance company here in the valley, and they tell us that they have dispatched
Motherfucking coward, dude.
to the scene, and it appears that there are multiple sites now with active shooters. Again, that part with multiple sites is not confirmed, but that's what they're hearing via the ambulance company. So obviously there's just a lot going on here, and police are trying to get a grip on it, and the priority is to get people safe and get these suspects into custody ASAP.
Nick, the question I have when I hear that update, that the suspect has been, according to your source, one of the suspects has been found dead in a room, is that a hotel room in a high-rise tower? Because you just heard Nathan say that a lot of people down there are thinking that some of the bullets came from above or from a high-rise, so it makes you wonder if they didn't storm.
Well, yeah, a fucking cop got shot in the neck. Where do you think the shot came
And
from?
that's what we heard early on from one of our police
Straight
sources
across?
as well.
So he must have been sniping, dude.
Two suspects,
Or he shot a machine gun out the
believe
window.
confirmed
He had to have
against
broken the window at the Mandalay Bay.
ground position,
Because how are you going to get it open to shoot?
People said they heard shotguns.
hotel room,
No, machine
and
guns.
that they were armed with
Well, no, I heard
power
people when we were driving in say they heard shotguns. I mean, maybe it wasn't, but
which
maybe
was,
that's what happened at Hooters,
causing
dude.
to shoot that distance into the crowd that was all the way across Las Vegas Boulevard.
And communicates.
Dude, there could be somebody in this hotel that's going to probably, that could strike tomorrow. Like, oh, I'll let everything die down.
And that's the question that we all have at this point. Well, first, obviously, we want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to be evacuated.
You're gonna
If
shoot
happen
me, you
to be
better kill
down
me.
In that area, you know people. We have received calls from people who are down in that area. You just have to pay attention to what police are telling you, what authorities and first responders are telling you to do.
Scary, dude.
Do not take chances. Don't try
Super
to turn
scary.
around and go back to your room.
It's like a fucking horror movie.
Whatever venue you were in, you have to pay attention to authorities in situations like this. We have every reason to believe that this is still active in the sense that we saw all those SWAT officers still moving into the scene. So we believe that they are still in the process of trying to apprehend a suspect or suspects who are believed involved in the scene.
Right, and as you were just saying, Gerard, you know, there are a lot of people down there stuck. One of them happens to be one of our own from News 3. Her name is Shella. She's on our production staff, and she was actually in the Mandalay Bay when the shooting just erupted. If you could, go ahead and tell us, Shella, she's on the phone.
Holy
with us now.
shit, dude.
Where were you?
She
What was
got
happening?
she
Just
got
kind of walk
the
us through
start
your
of when the
experience.
crowd dispersed.
Actually, I work at the Mandalay Bay, but I was actually in the crowd. I had walked across the street to go see the show, the last act, Jason Aldean, and I was right by the stage.
Shella, are you safe where you are right now? And what did you see?
Yeah, I'm home right now. We heard like this loud noise, and someone next to me told me it was like the speaker blowing out or something. And then some guy, like 3 people behind me, he was all covered in blood, and he fell down, and I heard people screaming, he's dead, he's dead. And then to my left, I heard people screaming, someone else is dead. And then Jason Aldean ran off the stage, and then everyone just jumped down, and they just kept shooting around. They were just shooting.
Damn, dude, Jason Aldean was on the stage.
And then they would stop for 5
Oh, look
seconds
who it
and
is.
reload, and then they would just shoot into the crowd. And I just kept hearing people
Man.
screaming that they were shot, or that someone was shot, and we were just sitting up.
Remember that song,
Right there.
Hit Town? Little Hit Town?
Right into the audience.
That's Jason Aldean.
Shelley, can you tell us?
But what's going on here?
What your reaction was?
That's a good goddamn push.
With all the ambulances.
there was a panic situation, that people were confused and they weren't necessarily sure.
Are those bodies right there?
Or what to go.
Is that what that is?
Video of people running from the
On
scene.
that
Some
tarp?
of them
Yeah.
actually hit the ground, presumably after some of those
Is
shots
that what that is,
were
dude?
fired. Can you tell us how you reacted and how you managed to get out?
There was a bunch of people around me just telling me, like, just stay low. Someone's shooting.
Body bags.
Just stay low. And then some people were running, and
No way, dude.
They were getting shot. People were running and they were falling down. So I assumed they
Oh,
were getting
man.
shot. But it wasn't
Grip 'em and zip 'em.
non-stop rounds, and I didn't want to sit there anymore because I figured I was just waiting my turn. So I just got up and I ran to the church across the way, and I was behind the church. And there was a bunch of people behind the church, and there was a girl next to me who was shot, and people were getting their bandanas, their shirts to try to stop the bleeding. Her leg was all shot up, and there were, I guess, officers and a man.
And you saw a lot of injured people.
I don't know, dude. We need goddamn binoculars.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to think. I just came to see the last act, and all these people everyone was just so bloody. It was like a massacre. Like, we were just all there in one spot, and they were just shooting right into the crowd.
Well, Shella, we thank you so much, and we're so grateful that you're okay. I can imagine, though, what still must be going through your mind. Part a lot of shock, because like you said, you just went for the final act. You had no idea that something like this could happen. Were you able to talk to police? Were they telling people to try to get to a certain place, or did you just go straight home?
I went behind the church, and there were policemen with bullets across their chests, and they had rifles, and they told us to stay on that side of the building because the shooter was on the other side. And everyone was asking, are they going to come around to this side? Are they moving? Are they mobile? And they were like, you stay here, you stay here. But when the ambulance came to take the injured, there weren't many people behind the building, and people just started to run. And I was one of them, and I ran to my mom. Picked me up halfway down the street. And as I was running, everyone was just bleeding. There was just so much blood. Everyone was just injured. And I was just...
I could have sworn I just heard machine gun fire.
Shella, stay by your phone, Shella. Now that we know you are okay, our thoughts are with so many people whose condition is questionable at this hour. We want to let our viewers know that we are not going to be leaving the airways. We will have continuing coverage through the night. This has happened in Las Vegas. A mass shooting, an active shooting here.
Can you tell what it is now?
On the Las Vegas Strip.
Not bodies.
Jason Aldean concert.
But they're all spread out.
Song. We have to, when we are...
They're all just spread out.
Remember that we are
what else is it?
About people who are still down there on the Las Vegas
why would they lay something down and then what would they put on top of it?
Elsewhere in the nation, this
I think they're bodies, dude. I don't know what else that could be.
We want to let you know that we are here through the night. We will get you the information that you need. We will provide phone numbers that you can call.
If that is, that's sad, dude.
We'll provide phone numbers and resources so that you can get.
That's just here, because you still got all over there.
We are here to serve our viewers, and that's what we will do as we watch police out there running towards the violence to try to save lives.
Let's check in with Nathan O'Neill, who is still down there on the scene. Nathan, what's your vantage point and what's happened since we last saw you?
Well, we've been walking all the way down Las Vegas Boulevard. We're headed towards Sunset. That's where they tell us, and they're telling everybody in the crowd to go ahead and stage, and that's going to be the safe place to get to. Right now, you can see we're right here by Maverick Helicopter. This is a ways down south from Mandalay Bay and away from a lot of the staging area for police. We've seen a lot of movement for law enforcement over the last few minutes up and down the boulevard. We can see a lot of the helicopters. They're kind of circling around, and we have several different agencies out here dealing with this as well. But you can see, just look at this. We have families. We have families on vacation right here with their luggage, families and children, and they're having to experience this like so many others right now, all wondering what's going on and when will this end. We just saw a SWAT vehicle move in right here. You can see, as I said, a lot of movement as far as law enforcement goes, a lot of police rushing toward the scene. But I do want to take you back to a little bit earlier. We got here on the scene maybe about 10-15 minutes after those first calls were made, because we were in the area, and we stopped and we started talking to people who were in that venue, in the crowds. We did a quick interview with them. Go ahead and listen to part of that.
clip after clip after clip, bullets flying everywhere, everybody running. It was really, really bad.
And you guys said that there were multiple shots fired.
We were the furthest VIP stages away from Mandalay Bay, and they were ricocheting everywhere where we were. So they were firing from somewhere high, and they were unloading clip after clip after clip after clip.
So there was a shooter, you believe?
Multiple shooters. Multiple. It has to be.
How many people were hit?
We have no idea. Hopefully none, but there was obviously people hit.
Did you guys see any victims? I mean, as far as...
I just saw one drive by right now, giving CPR, because he had probably been shot.
Right now, CPR. Wow.
There's bullets ricocheting like down by the bottom of our feet because we all got on the floor, crawling out, rushing, because everybody's rushing out. We hear the bullets right on our feet.
So it sounded like hundreds of shots.
It was hundreds of shots. They wouldn't sound like it was hundreds of shots.
And then what happened? I mean, how long did this happen?
5 minutes, not even.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's still, people are still running scared. The back streets are all full of people trying to hide out. I mean, it sounded like a firecracker, and then it ended up not sounding like a firecracker at all.
What did you guys... And there you go. There was a view of the first moments in the chaos and the fallout of what has happened here. Those people rushing out of the venue as this is all happening, telling us firsthand what they experienced. But as you can see, it's a much different situation at this point because everybody's been migrated from Mandalay Bay all the way down Las Vegas Boulevard, at least from our side of things here. You can see they're all here on the east side of the boulevard. They're trying to keep them on the sidewalks, but they're still moving all the way down. And I want to turn the camera down because just look, this is a completely stark kind of difference between the Las Vegas Strip and where we are right now. It's actually pretty dark out here. There's no street lights. It's pretty dark, except for those first responders rushing to aid, trying to help people who might be in need at this point. But
those got to be bodies.
We have still a ways to go. They're telling us all the way down to Sunset just to get everybody safe. And we
look
still
at them
have
just
people
lined
behind
up.
us as well, walking with us. So we're experiencing.
If those are bodies, those are
so
kids.
many other people right now, but we're going to go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, Nathan, thank you. Just incredible to hear the testimonials from those.
I don't know,
folks
we're pretty
who are
high up.
and actually experiencing this. Again, we have heard that there were multiple shooters, multiple victims, and in fact, we are still hearing that there may be multiple active scenes. In fact, there is a report from a police source that says there is now an SUV that may
about to go around the
have a
casino and
device
smoke a
that is
cigarette or
being looked
something.
into near that scene as well. We have
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Video that
What?
comes to us from
There's a
Twitter
suspicious
that we want to
vehicle.
show you. We're just gonna
That's what they're looking into,
play it for you.
near the scene.
Sound full.
Again and go to the top of that video and let you hear it.
I think you can hear the rapid fire gunshots at the very beginning.
There it is, right there.
If it ain't bodies, maybe they're assembling something. Maybe they think there's a bomb. Dude, if there's a bomb right there, what the fuck are we doing right here?
And then the reaction, you begin to hear the screams of the crowd.
Goosebumps after hearing that. That is
Definitely machine gun.
a really tragic piece of video and sound that we just played. Police sources again saying that it was at least 2 people armed with high-power weapons, and they were firing them in rapid succession. And now we have that evidence, and we're hearing exactly what those officers have described. Now we're waiting for an official statement from Metro. Obviously, their hands are full. They're still assessing the situation, which we believe is still an active situation. We have heard reports that there are multiple active scenes. We know Mandalay Bay is one of them. There may be a suspect who has been killed there at the scene at Mandalay Bay. That we're still waiting for confirmation on, but there are other areas as well.
Security guard Anthony is on the phone. Anthony, what is it like down there? It sounds like a war zone.
Basically, I was standing by at one of the gates when we heard what we thought was fireworks, and we saw the people coming toward us. We were like, all right, go the other way, guys. And then we started realizing, oh, this is gunshot. Then kind of the dudes just fired off rounds like crazy. People were running out the gates. I got people coming from a gunshot, blast clutch, and second one. We're trying to get them out as fast as possible. I mean, I even drove 3 to 5
You hear that?
over to a medical station here set up nearby on Las Vegas Boulevard. By the time I got back over there, most of the people had been carried out, but everybody else
That'd be fucking nuts,
laying
dude.
there, bloody, dead. It was a complete war zone. This is one guy with a fully automatic M4 and M9. As far as I knew, he was by himself at the time.
Anthony, can you speak to what the security measures were here at the festival?
So the first thing we heard on the radio was take cover, take cover. I immediately started just tying people out the gate or out another gate so they could get to safety. As soon as I started getting injured people, I started throwing them in any vehicle that I could, having other people taking them to the hospital. Once we got everybody out, I started heading back to make sure everybody was fine, and that's when I started transporting people to the hospital or nearby ambulance.
And where are you now, Anthony?
I'm at one of my friends' house now. We're months away right now. We were both right there, just in the midst of the whole thing, just in the midst of the chaos.
We want to be very clear to our
cops.
viewers. You're seeing this video and hearing that rapid fire there.
3.
These weapons that you can
One
just hear.
undercover.
This is not happening right now. This is video from social media taken within the last hour or so. We do know that this is still a continuing scene and very active scene, and we have not heard that the shooter or shooters have been caught or killed. But we do want to be very clear, if you're tuning in right now, that gunfire you're hearing is not happening right now in the Las Vegas Strip.
Initially, this happened right around, I would say, 10:30 or so. That's when we first started getting our information. It was as the concert was wrapping up, the Route 91 Harvest Festival concert, a country-themed concert that was taking place outdoors. If you're familiar with that area at all, there's a sort of an open field with an outdoor stage area that is set up directly across from Mandalay Bay and the Luxor area. Some of the folks that we've been speaking to say they ran to a church. There is a chapel near there as well. A lot of them, we heard one of our employees here say that they ran back there to cover as these shots were being fired, and this was at the direction of officers who were at the scene.
And what's so heartbreaking
Fuck, I want to know what that is.
said is that, she was getting down low. People were literally getting hurt all around her. It was a bloody scene, and she thought, I'm a sitting duck. If I continue to stay here, I will be next. And so that's when she ran to that church for cover. But as we could hear it, you're at a loud music venue. You may be thinking it's a speaker that backfires. You may be thinking that it's fireworks.
But there's got to be a crime scene there. There's no reason that they're all just stationed there.
We talk about this all the time, about
Right.
what Metro does and what law enforcement is doing, because we know
I don't
that we
get
are one
why
of the most
there's
popular places
less
in the world,
cops
where tons
and
and
more
tons of people come
ambulances,
here for
you know?
recreation. So
Probably because,
it's a
everybody,
soft target.
dude.
But
All
you
those cops are
still
going to
never
Mandalay Bay right now,
that
probably.
something like this could actually happen
No.
here. And to
What I
hear
think
the
is,
mass casualties that we're getting reports of, and the fact that people were
bunch
so
of people
desperate,
that got shot
putting them into
are-
regular cars and rushing
were
them
at
to
that
the hospital.
stayed
And the
in
fact
that
we're
hotel,
also
you know what I
getting
mean?
reports that UMC is saying we're
Maybe.
overloaded now, and they're possibly sending people to Sunrise. You just don't think it can happen here, even though we know that we are a soft target.
And we're hearing stories of people being loaded in the back of pickup trucks and taken to medical centers. We're hearing that Metro Police put people, as many as they could fit, in the back of their patrol cars and get them to the hospital. At one point, our own reporter, Christy Wilcox, was hiding behind a cement barricade and has been moved several times. Number one, Christy, are you safe? And number two, what's the update? Okay, we've lost Christy.
At this point, we believe anyway, we keep getting moved down the way here. We are just behind the Mandalay Convention Center, right by Las Vegas Boulevard, and I believe if I step out over here, I can tell, I think we're just south of Russell, and I am hearing that there are 2 homicide squads that are rolling, another 2 are on standby. That is from a police source. We also had someone from concierge working inside the Mandalay Bay walk by and say, one of her crew members had just seen dead bodies laying on the ground. I mean, very, very distraught people walking by. And I can tell you, when we came down Russell to park over here, we had a man come running up to us, blood down his shirt, saying his friends are dead, and please come help him. And then he went running down Las Vegas Boulevard back towards the scene, asking people, anyone, please just come help me. And then he got so distraught a little later that he actually pushed our photog away out of the scene. And as you can see, multiple police here just setting up, getting ready to move towards Mandalay Bay as they are needed.
Man, it sounds like there's a lot of victims, dude.
And I don't know if you remember, but a couple months back, I had reported on a mass casualty from the fire department that had.
What is it, a canopy? They set up a canopy down there?
Enough equipment onto
what is that?
Situation. I'm trying to confirm that it
That is
is
a
out there right
canopy.
now assisting on this scene. I'm not sure. Of course, we're getting as much information as we can on the ground, but many people just reporting those fireworks. It sounded like fireworks at first, and then eventually those pops. They realized that it was a serious situation and happening out here. Just want to show you this live situation. We have ambulance over here, of course, still trying to figure out what's going on. Plenty of people who are fire medics out here just below or south of the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. You can just see the lines of police cars, of medics, other people just helping on the scene, trying to figure out how to get this under control and just keep everybody safe out here. I'll send it back to you in the studio. All right, thanks so much, Christy.
We know that obviously is the priority. We are hearing now, we got another report from Community Ambulance, and this is also disheartening and discouraging. Initially, we heard that there were casualties, including fatalities, near the main stage, which is across the street from Mandalay Bay. Now, EMTs at Mandalay Bay itself report that there are many casualties on the ground at the property there.
Oh my God.
Again, we're getting multiple reports of multiple injuries and casualties as a result of this, what appears to be a mass shooting involving at least 2 suspects that occurred immediately following this concert, the Harvest 91 concert outside Mandalay Bay.
And every time you hear about someone saying it was bloody, people were running, people were dying, you think that's someone's father, that's someone's sister,
Absolutely.
that's someone's mother. There's somebody, and this is not just numbers. I mean, these are people who really just went to have a good time, some of them possibly on vacation. Of course, a lot of people here, locals, were looking forward to this 3-day festival as well. A lot of people just looking for a good time, and now this is a moment that they will never, ever forget. None of us will.
We're looking at a live picture here at the Las Vegas Strip. It's a picture we almost never see. A section of the strip, a large section of the strip is empty, and you see all the blackness there, and that's as a result of police and first responders blocking off the streets, evacuating people, and just making sure that people stay away from a scene that very well could still be active. We have not heard that this is over by any means. In fact, we are continuing to get reports that SWAT and Metro units are searching and canvassing the area. What we have not heard in the past at least half hour or so is a report of any more shots fired. So that perhaps is some good news.
There's a ripple effect here. We're also hearing right now that flights in and out of McCarran have been temporarily halted. I can also tell you that word coming in via many sources I listened to coming in that all of the strip properties right now, people have been told to shelter in place. People in their hotel rooms told to stay inside their hotel rooms. So this is having a ripple effect. I'm also understanding the I-15 just adjacent to the Las Vegas Strip is at a shutdown as well. So if you at home are watching this and you have the ability to text message somebody, tell them to do what they are hearing from police. And police are communicating to us, communicating to the casinos to shelter in place and to get as far away from the strip as you can if you are in a car. Nathan O'Neill right now and his photographer providing us this live picture. Nathan, what's the update?
Well, you were just talking about that ripple effect on McCarran Airport. We're right next to it. We're just on the west side of it, actually, and we haven't seen any planes take off. It's been a ground stop, effectively, that we've seen over here, which is a very eerie sight to see, especially if you're familiar with this stretch of road right here, Las Vegas Boulevard. But again, all you see going up and down Las Vegas Boulevard over here, they're all patrol units. They're all emergency units. They're all coming down. We can see a flight of them coming down right now. And I will tell you, it's kind of a dangerous situation because it's not really well lit out here. And there have been people that have been moving down this road, and they're kind of darting across, trying to get across the street. And we've seen a couple of those squad cars have to stop in their tracks because people are kind of getting in the way. They're trying to keep people on the sidewalks and keep them out of harm's way, not only of this dangerous situation, but the response here. They need this corridor so they can actually get through to the areas that they need. But just look at that. Las Vegas Boulevard, south here, completely dark right now. All of these folks told to get away from the strip at this point, but we're going to go ahead and send it back to you. We're going to try to catch up with some people that are across the street. They're kind of down here trying to figure out what to do next, so we'll send it back to you.
All right, Nathan, stand by. We'll be back to you in moments. We want to show our videos now, a piece of new video that was sent to us by a viewer who was there. Again, this, we understand, is graphic video. We're watching this for the first time. We believe that you can, once again, hear the gunshots. Let's go ahead and roll that video.
Two different guns. Two different guns.
Multiple gunshots fired in rapid succession, and then you have the crowd, as you see there, panicking immediately after, including the person who was shooting.
This is probably like one of the worst shootings ever, dude.
You know, there was immediate panic, there was immediate confusion, and as we've heard from multiple people who were there on the ground and our police sources, people ran in all directions to escape.
Columbine.
What they believe was
no way, dude. This many casualties?
Real bullets.
Columbine, dude. They killed like 12 students.
This
is more than 12, dude. There's way more than 12 here, dude. There's probably gonna be at least 50, dude.
They are all involved in this.
Look, you see that group of people? They're just unloading guns into it, dude. Like,
and that was two different sets of firing, because you heard one and then you heard another one click,
and then they continued inside or someone else was doing inside. So this is probably the biggest mass shooting in the history of ever, dude.
Thus far is that there was an active shooting incident following the concert that was taking place out there. At least
this is gonna. I don't know if we're gonna get back when we're supposed to, dude.
Possibly on an upper floor of the Mandalay Bay Casino,
oh shit!
Firing down onto the crowd. It is believed that possibly some.
I thought that helicopter was flashing its light over here, dude.
Casino hotel property as well. All of this information.
I wouldn't mind, dude.
And we're getting it.
I got nothing waiting for me back in the view, except for my kid.
Counterterrorism crews are down there as well. We're also understanding that hospital personnel from every hospital in our valley has been paged in. So if you were a morning shift worker at a hospital here in our valley, you have now.
Well, they're letting people walk by and everything, so I don't know what they're doing down there, dude.
UMC is full, and now the wounded and the victims are being taken.